Looks like he's still connecting. Oh, there he is. Okay, Mr. Higgins, you can hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, great, thank you. This is People of the State of Michigan versus Jawan Higgins, docket number 21-40FH. Mr. Higgins, I have an address, well, I got two different ones, one on North Capitol and one on Park Terrace. Which one's right?
Park Terrace.
Okay, great. And then how far did you go in school?
I completed high school.
Okay.
Did trade.
And trade? Okay, great. And do you work right now?
I'm looking for a part-time job.
Okay, very good. Would you raise your right hand, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I swear.
Thank you. Mr. Higgins, you have the right to be represented by an attorney. You are represented by Mr. Cornish. And Mr. Cornish, this is a plea to the charge, correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay, and Ms. Allen, would you read the charge, please?
In the People of the State of Michigan versus Jawan Higgins, file 21-40-FH, State of Michigan, County of Ingham. In the name of the people of the State of Michigan, the prosecuting attorney for this county appears before the court and informs the court that on or about October 8th, 2020, at Waverly Road and Moores River Drive, City of Lansing, Ingham County, the defendant did in count one commit the offense of carrying a concealed weapon, that he did carry a dangerous weapon, to wit, a pistol, whether concealed or otherwise in a vehicle operated or occupied by said defendant, to wit, a Chevrolet Suburban, contrary to Michigan law. This is a felony punishable by up to 5 years or $2,500, mandatory forfeiture of weapon or device, and was committed against the peace and dignity of the state of Michigan.
Mr. Higgins, you're being charged here with what's known as carrying a pistol in an automobile. That is a felony punishable by up to 5 years in prison. Also, if you were on parole at the time you committed the offense, it would be a mandatory consecutive sentence. Have you had enough time to talk about this charge with your attorney?
Yes, I have.
Do you understand the charge against you?
Yes.
Do you have any questions about what we're doing?
No.
Okay, how do you want to plead?
Guilty.
If your plea of guilty is accepted by this court, it means you won't have a trial of any kind, and you'll be giving up the rights that go along with a trial. That includes the right to a trial by jury, or if you didn't want trial by jury, trial by judge. You'll be giving up the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty, and to require the prosecutor to prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You'll give up your right to have the witnesses against you appear at the trial and to be able to cross-examine them, as well as the right to have this court order any witnesses that you might have to appear at the trial. You'll give up your right to remain silent at the trial and not to have your silence used against you, or if you wanted to, the right to testify yourself at the trial. Also, some things about appeals are different when you plead guilty. One is you don't get an automatic right to appeal your case to the higher court. Instead, you have to ask them to hear your case and they have to agree to hear it. And the other thing is that there are a lot of issues you cannot appeal when you plead guilty, unlike going to trial if you get convicted and you can appeal pretty much everything. Do you understand those rights?
Yes.
Also, if I accept your plea, it means you cannot come back later on and try to say that the plea was the result of some promise or threat that no one told me about today. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
Also, if I accept your plea, it means you cannot come back later on and try to say that it really wasn't your own choice to plead guilty today. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Ms. Allen, is there a plea agreement?
Yes, Your Honor. The defendant is pleading to count one on the felony information, and there is a sentence agreement pursuant to People versus Killebrew that the defendant received no upfront jail.
And Mr. Cornish, is that a full and complete statement?
It is, Your Honor. Thank you.
Mr. Higgins, is that your understanding of the agreement?
Yes, it is.
Do you agree with it?
Yes.
Now, there's this agreement that you would get no upfront jail. If for some reason I decided not to go along with that, I would tell you before I sentenced you, and I'd give you a chance if you wanted to take back this plea and start over. You got all that?
Yes.
Okay, has anyone promised you anything else in order to get you to plead guilty that has not been said right here?
No.
Anyone used any threats to get you to do it?
No, ma'am.
Is it your own choice?
Yes.
And are you doing it because you believe you are in fact guilty of this offense?
Yes.
Okay, then tell me about October 8th of last year and what you did with this gun.
I had a license. I thought I was carrying it properly, and I wasn't. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I just feel like, so
Where did you have it?
I put it in my holster.
In your holster, and then were you in your car?
Yes.
Okay, and so you knew the gun was in your holster when you were in the car?
Excuse me?
And this was, you knew the gun, I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
I couldn't hear you.
Oh, yeah, you knew the gun was in the holster when you were in your car, is that correct?
Oh, it wasn't in the holster where I was in the car. It was in the car already, but I had it in the holster, and I pulled it out, put it back in, and I kind of forgot.
Okay, but you had it in the car at some point, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, and you knew that it was in the car?
Yes.
And it was a pistol, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and did you at some point have it in the area of Waverly Road and Moores River Drive in Lansing, Ingham County? Maybe that's where you got stopped or something?
Yeah, I believe that's where I got stopped.
Okay. Has the court complied with MCR 6.302, Ms. Allen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Cornish?
It has, Your Honor. Could I ask one clarifying question just for the record?
Yes.
Mr. Higgins, you do not have a CPL, that's correct?
Yeah, I do not have one.
Thank you. And you have complied, Your Honor. Thank you.
Are you aware of any promises, threats, or inducements other than those already placed on the record, Ms. Allen?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Cornish?
No, Your Honor.
The court finds the plea is understandingly and voluntarily made without undue influence, threats, or promises of leniency. It is an accurate plea. It's supported by the testimony. The plea is accepted. I have a sentencing date of Monday, April 12th at 3:45. So you already have one on that date, Mr. Cornish, so I assume you're good with it.
I
And
have two, and I'm very good with it. Thank you, Your Honor.
yes, okay, Mr. Higgins, I can take a plea by Zoom, but I need your permission to do a sentencing by Zoom. Do you think you're okay with that?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Then we'll see you back here on Zoom on April 12th at 3:45. In the meantime, the probation department is going to contact you to set up an interview. It's a remote interview, but it's one that they need to do in order to prepare the report that I use for sentencing. If you don't hear from them in the next couple of days, would you please call them and tell them that you need to set up that interview? Their number's 483-6100.
Okay. Just a second. I wasn't ready.
Yeah, it's okay.
One, I've emailed that or texted that to you just now.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so your lawyer texted it to you. Okay?
Yeah, got it.
Your bond is continued, Mr. Higgins, and you're all set.
Okay.